Hi, and welcome to this week's episode of Lasso TV. I'm Michael Murphy.
And I'm Jack West. Today is the last day of school before spring break, and many kids don't know what to do. Luckily, we have Cullen Wood, our Lasso TV travel advisor, here in the studio to talk about the most popular things to do in Falls Church during the spring break. So Cullen, hit us up with some facts about what some cool things to do if you're staying here in Falls Church over spring break.
So I looked on Travel Advisor to see what I could find, and I didn't find a lot. But what I did find was quite promising, I think. The first thing I found was, we all know that Bowl America is here in Falls Church.
The place is still open?
Yep.
Surprisingly, it's still open.
It's great, you know.
Is that one of the top ranking things in Falls Church?
I think it's like fifth?
I believe so,
Yeah.
yes.
You're joking,
Yes.
right?
No.
Come to Falls Church, Bowl America. All right, what's next?
The other thing I found was something even more interesting, which was the Creative Cauldron. And the Creative Cauldron, for those who don't know, is a theater production place, and where it takes young kids and sometimes adults, and they put on performances.
Like what are some of the performances they do?
Well, upcoming this spring break is The Emperor's New Clothes, which is something which is the story that The Emperor's New Groove was based on.
Wow, I've lived in Falls Church for 18 years, and I've never heard of Creative Cauldron.
I think it's new.
Well, you're obviously
Isn't it
not
new?
creative. No, it's pretty old.
Yeah, right? I thought it was
You're
new.
not
Yeah.
creative.
Yeah, you're not creative,
thinker.
No, I'm also not a cauldron. So.
But speaking of new things, the newest thing that I found was the most interesting was this thing called the breakout room.
I have heard of that.
What is the breakout room?
It's like an escape room. Cullen, you
So
probably know more than me.
A breakout room or an escape room is a room that has a bunch of puzzles in it, and you're locked in there for about an hour trying to escape. And each room is different, and each room has varying difficulty of puzzles and traps, and well, not really traps, but puzzles and
So it's like a real life
riddles. Yeah.
Yeah,
puzzle
like you
video
get
game.
put in a room, and there's like a whole bunch of stuff around the room, and it's all one big puzzle that leads you to the escape of that room. And if you don't get to the end of the puzzle in an hour, they just open the door and
Where
like
is
get out of
this?
here.
Do you know does anyone know where this
It's
is?
right
it's-
above Robex, right?
It's on West Street, and it's a little door right next to the You Break I Fix store thing.
Yeah, it's in that shopping center with Robex and what used to be the party store and the UPS store and all
Yeah,
that.
and it's kind of hard to see, but it's just a little door that leads upstairs into a room.
We should do this for Lasso TV.
We
Mike
should.
and Jack escape the breakout room. Just write that down.
All right, Cullen.
And
I
another
have,
thing that TripAdvisor didn't recommend, but I think is an extremely fun thing to do in Falls Church, is the Clay Cafe Studio on Broad Street, next to
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
yeah, that's been
tavern.
there forever.
That stuff?
Yeah, where you can go and you can paint clay pots, clay plates, or clay figurines. I mean, I have
How
a
is Bowl
snake.
America ranked higher than
I don't know.
Clay Cafe? Clay Cafe is
I don't know,
awesome.
man.
Well, thank you, Cullen, for the great
That was
ideas.
awesome. I'll have to try some of those things out.
Yeah, we will send you videos if we do any of that. Thank you.
Bowl America, number one.
As you are watching this, the George Mason robotics team is currently in Richmond, Virginia, on the campus of VCU, competing in the Chesapeake District Championships. If they win here, the next stop is the world competition in St. Louis. Wish them luck.
Let's go to Andrew Pishner in this week's episode of Cooking with Andrew, where he will be making us some amazing strawberry jam.
Hi everyone, Andrew here, and today in the kitchen with Andrew we're going to make strawberry jam, a spread commonly used for sandwiches, toasts, and muffins. But today in this episode we're going to make it for cornbread, which you will see in another video. So let's go over the ingredients so we can get started. The ingredients for strawberry jam are very simple. Here we have 3 pounds of strawberries where I've removed the stems and cut them into pieces, 1 Granny Smith apple that I've grated, the juice of 1 lemon, and lastly we have 2 pounds or 4 cups of granulated sugar. Equipment is required for making the perfect strawberry jam. Here we have 6 8-ounce mason jars, 1 candy thermometer, a ladle, a pair of tongs, and a funnel. I will show you what to do with these later in the video. The first step is to boil your mason jars and their lids in hot water. This makes sure that they're clean and sterilized when you're ready to use them. So now to make the jam, we're going to add the lemon juice, the grated apple, and the strawberries. And then we're going to turn on the heat. And we're going to cook this on medium heat for 20 to 30 minutes until the fruit collapses and releases all their juices. All right, this has been cooking for 20 minutes now. As you can see, all the juice has been released from the fruit. And now the next step is to add in the sugar. And now we're going to stir all the sugar until it fully dissolves. Once all the sugar is dissolved, bring the mixture to a boil. An important tool in the jelly making process is a candy thermometer. So now that our mixture has come to a boil, we're going to add the candy thermometer and attach it to the pan. And we're going to wait till this reaches 220 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the setting point for jelly. Now that the jelly has reached 220 degrees, it's time to turn off the heat. And now we're going to let it cool for 10 minutes. While you wait for your jelly to cool, prepare your mason jars and the lids. Now that our jelly is cooled, it is time to can them or put them in their jars. And so this is where the ladle and the funnel come in handy. So put the funnel on one jar, and we're going to take a ladle full of the jelly, and we're going to pour it into the funnel. This is preventing from making a big mess when you're scooping the jam into the jars. Now that all your jars have been filled, add on the lids. Make sure they're screwed tightly. And do the rest for all 6 jars. The jars cool until room temperature, then place in the refrigerator to set, or preferably overnight. Now it is time to taste test our jelly. This jelly is from a batch I made previously, and now we're going to taste it. That is really good. You can even eat this out of the jar on your own if you wanted to. Please stay tuned for our next episode, which is cornbread, and we'll be sampling the jelly along with the cornbread. Thank you for joining me in the Kitchen with Andrew. I'm Andrew, and ciao.
Hey Andrew, so that jam looked amazing. Do you want to kind of describe a little bit more in depth about how you made that jelly?
Well, making jelly, especially around this time of year, is important. Well, it's also like, if you have like a lot of fruit and you don't eat it, you can like use it to make jam, not waste it. And it's a kind of a complicated process, but it lasts a long time if you do it, if you can, and preserve your fruit properly.
But do you say jelly or jam?
It can be both.
Yeah, there is a difference between.
Well,
there is
jelly
a difference.
has like no fruit, and then jam has like fruit in it.
Yeah.
But
So the
Really?
jelly is like just the normal stuff that you'd get in your standard Uncrustables in the lunch line.
Yes.
And
yeah.
then jam has actual like seeds and chunks of fruit in it.
Yeah, if you like that. Yeah.
So your strawberry jam is of course all natural. So you made it with chunks of fruit and the seeds and everything in it.
Yes.
All right.
But
Well-
you called it jelly.
Mistake, it was a mistake. Simple mistake, my bad.
Confused.
Well, hopefully you can bring some in for us next week and we can try it with toast.
We
You know,
can
what are
really
some?
decide as to whether or not it's a jelly or a jam.
But aside from toast and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, what are some other?
You can like
Meals.
pipe it into like muffins and use it in like bagels and
I've never even
like
thought of
and,
that.
and like
That's
donut
awesome.
like jelly filled donuts. So,
All right.
Can you make us some donuts?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Well,
That'll be our next one.
yeah, thanks for being with us, Andrew. We hope to try some of your delicious jam next week.
No problem.
Moving on to sports, here's Erik Martin with your weekend sports update.
Welcome to Weekend Sports Update. We'll start off on the diamond. The Mustang baseball team is off to a 2-3 start in JVs and even 3-3. The Mustangs play in a tournament over spring break on Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday against Annandale, Lee High School, and Washington and Lee. Softball team is off to a slow 0-3 start, but the JV team does have one win, and your next chance to see the team in action is April 18th against William Monroe. The girls' varsity lacrosse team is undefeated so far for this year's start. The boys' lacrosse team is 2-3 with wins over Trinity and Tuscarora. Boys and girls soccer are both hoping to repeat as state champions and are off to winning starts. The boys are 3-1, and the girls are 4-1. And shout out to the girls JV team, who is 4-0 with a tie to begin the season. I'm Eric Martin. Thanks for watching Weekend Sports Update.
Thanks, Eric. That's all for this week. Tune in next week for some more fake news. I'm Jack West.
And I'm Michael Murphy. We'll see you next time.